Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of the Pit Therapy Podcast. I'm Kyle, and this is Trevor. And, man, we missed last week. I feel like there's good reason for it, but...
We don't miss, all right? Like, we very rarely miss. If anything, we put out a little bit of extra. I think this is only the second week since we started this that we've actually, like, just missed a week.
Right.
So,
because even then, like, obviously life happens. You know, one of us sometimes can't do it. We cover for the other one. Works out. It's just, man, last couple of weeks have been real sucky. So I was like,
you were on your
deathly
deathbed.
ill. Yeah, that's what it felt like, dude. And I'm like 2 weeks into this, and I'm still just like barely getting past a lot of the crap. So
yeah. And I'll be honest, I'm probably a pussy. Like, I just have probably a man cold kind of thing. Like, I feel sick. Like, I'll be honest, I feel sick, but I probably should have made something happen last week. So my bad.
Yeah, dude, it's all right. Look, we're not getting paid for this. It's cool. You know, I know that our 5 listeners were maybe noticed. Hey, you know what? Look, if anyone noticed that we didn't record last week, will you shoot us a message? We might give you something. Maybe we'll gift you like a shirt or something. I don't know. If you can prove that you actually knew that we didn't record last week, we'll give you something. I don't know what it is, but you know. Just saying.
Oh, we'll have to see. I mean, we don't make anything from this, so it's out of our own pocket if we're giving stuff away.
Look,
so that's out of your pocket this time, bro.
Okay. Dude, I'll send them I've got like leftover gift cards that have like $3 on it, dude. I'll mail that. Like, do you remember? I think we talked about it. Do you remember that time I shipped you that shirt?
Yes, I still have it.
We'll have to take a picture of that and show it sometime. But
so, I mean, I don't know if we ever actually talked about it. So you bought a Misery Signal shirt.
Mm-hmm.
It came with the collar completely stitched in the wrong place.
It was like they cut the fabric diagonally for like the shoulder and neck area instead of like flat, right?
Well, yeah. Like, have you ever seen? Seen the guy? He goes by the Crooked Man on, I think it's Instagram, and he only works out one trap.
It's a shirt for that dude.
It's a shirt for that dude. Like, it's like the right shoulder has like all this extra space, and the left one is very thin. So, like, you threw out a message. You're like, "Hey, I got an extra Misery Signal shirt. Does anyone want it?" I'm like, "Yes, here, send it to me." You spent probably more money than it costs to buy the shirt to ship it to me as a joke.
No, the shipping was like $3 or something, dude. It wasn't very much.
All right. Well, so that makes me feel a little bit better. But
what did you think when you put the shirt on? I remember because you texted me, you're like, "Is there something wrong with this shirt?"
I was like, "Wait, what is this?" Yeah. So I ended up cutting the sleeves off, and it fits okay with the sleeves cut off. But
oh, really?
I wear it basically just to mow the lawn and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. But anyways, I was out like super sick, and then I freaking broke my finger. And so that like compounded on it. But
yeah, because, you know, I called myself a puss, but, you know.
Look, dude, we'll talk about the tour.
Well, let's just talk about it. Let's just get into it right now. What happened?
So I dislocated my finger 2 songs into the first band at the Comeback Kid Koyo Orthodox Desmadre show. 2 songs into Desmadre, I have no idea what happened. I like ran to like jump into the side of the pit. I don't know if my hand or finger got caught on someone's shirt or I don't know what it was, but like I went to close my fist so I could start swinging, and I noticed my pinky wasn't closing. So like I put my hand down to grab my pinky, and it's like an L, right? Like my pinky's like out in sideways. Like horizontal. Yeah, sideways. And I just yanked it back in, you know, because you talk about you being a pussy. I ain't no puss. I just yanked my finger back in, and then I moshed the rest of the night with a broken finger. So look, dude, if you had any question that I'm tough.
Look at you propping yourself up.
Yeah, dude. No, but yeah. So anyways, I broke my finger, and then I think I probably caught something from that show because we were all packed in there like sardines. It was like 900 degrees. So
it was a dope venue, though.
It was a cool venue. It was my first time being there. It was 18 and older, which for the size of the venue and the amount of people that showed up and like the type of crowd, it was probably okay, honestly. Um,
Was it like
but
sold out?
no, I think I saw an Instagram post like a couple hours before the show that said they had less than 100 tickets left. So it was close, but I don't think it
Okay.
was completely sold out.
Okay. That's better than the last time you saw Comeback Kid.
Absolutely. Last time I saw them was at a huge venue and there was no one there and it sucked. This was like, well, there's probably the same amount of people at this one.
But it's just the right venue for it.
Just the right venue. No barricade. People were stage diving. So first of all, Desmadre, dude, they're so freaking good live. Holy cow, they're good live. And they're heavy.
Yeah, they are.
They covered a System of a Down song
Nice.
and it went freaking hard, dude. People were going nuts. It was sick. Then it was Orthodox. I'm not a huge Orthodox music fan, but absolutely worth seeing. They put on a great set, you know. They had the vocalist for Unity TX jump up and do guest vocals for one of the songs. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then Koyo, one of my favorite bands. They're incredible live. And then Comeback Kid was just out of this world. It was incredible.
20 years, Wake the Dead.
Yeah. They like,
Can't
so
keep
they play the first two songs. And then when they go to play the third song, they do like the first couple,
the chords.
chords.
Da, da, da,
Yeah. And then they
da.
stop and then they go to the fourth song. It was hilarious. But I took two guys that have never been to a hardcore show to this concert. I took a coworker who's like really big into hip hop. And then I took Tyler. If you remember from last year, we had him on. We talked about grunge music and stuff. I took him and dude, they freaking loved it.
Really?
My coworker's this like real tall black dude, like real big into hip hop, never been to anything like this. And he's like headbanging the whole time and like trying to sing the words. Like, I don't know if he was like looking up the words. I didn't like look back because I don't want to make him feel uncomfortable or anything, but like he was like trying to sing along and stuff. He went and bought an Orthodox shirt.
Dude, I'm telling like,
so
when you say someone who likes hip hop, the first thing that I was going to say was Orthodox, the band that he like gravitated towards.
Yep.
Because that's definitely that style.
Yeah. But he was like dying, dude. He was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. He's like, they just let you guys up on stage. What are they doing? He's like, could you imagine doing that at like a Lil Baby concert or something? Like, he was dying. He's like, this is so cool. And, you know, he was talking about like, he's like, it makes sense, like how cathartic it is to be in there, like bouncing off of each other. And, you know, he's like, it was really, really cool. And so he like wants to go to more
sick
and stuff. And
is
like,
he actually going to listen to it outside of going to a show now? That's always my question. Because you get people who go and they're like, dude, that was awesome. I understand now what you were saying, right? But then, and usually they want to go back.
Yeah.
The question I have, does the music catch him? Is it something that'll bring him in? Is he going to go throw on some Orthodox when he's rolling down the street next time?
So here's the thing. So two things on that. Half of me says, no, he's not going to listen to the music. But what he will do is he's going to tell people about this. He's going to be, because he took a bunch of videos and he's like, dude, look at what I went to. This is the band. And he's going to play Orthodox. And before you know it, he's going to be like, all right, I like this. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's going to grow on him. You know, that's going to happen because he's going to show up.
Goes.
Yeah. Or he's going to like, because I like Koyo, like they obviously like Koyo and like they could tell the difference. Like what was funny was talking to him after, like, yeah, I could see the difference between like all the different types of hardcore and bands and stuff. And they're like, I like Koyo because I could, you know, sing along. So I could totally see him going and like listening to Koyo. And then like you start easing yourself in. And I think that's the right way. You know, I might send him some like other bands like that just to like get him, you know.
I mean, I'll tell you, the trend in hardcore right now is to add the new metal influence, right? And new metal is very much hip hop influenced.
Yeah.
So if someone's into hip hop, right, legitimate hip hop, they'll like a lot of new metal stuff. They'll like the riffs. They'll understand kind of the beat to it, the rhythm to it, all of that kind of stuff. And so you can get down with the new metal influence stuff, the Orthodox is. I I'm not a huge new metal guy, so like when I hear it, I know it, but
Right.
I'm not like naming them off the top of my head, kind of thing.
Yeah. No, well, I'm talking
So
about like Unity TX. That
yeah,
might
yeah,
be a band
Unity
you should check
TX,
out.
that's another
You know.
one. Yep.
So,
So
and look, I know this is a stupid take, but I do think that it's like a cool thing about this scene is he walked in there and one of the first things he said is like, "Oh, I'm not the only black dude here."
sick.
I respect that for the scene down here in Dallas. A lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, that's a stupid take or whatever," but like it matters to people, you know, and it mattered to him who's like not part of this. And so to like walk in there and like not instantly feel uncomfortable, I
Sure.
think goes a long ways in the scene, you know?
Sure. Yeah. No, very very inclusive,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we talk about it all the time. Bands talk about it all the time. I went and saw Absolved the same night that you went and saw Comeback Kid.
Hmm.
And even Absolved, when they were up on stage, they said, like, our main goal is to make this a safe place for everyone. We want
Yeah.
everyone to feel welcome. We want everyone to feel included. Uh, I think it was International Women's Day that day. So it was like shout out to the female homies and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But shout out to everyone kind of thing. And so the scene promotes that and it needs to continue to promote that. And there's a lot of shit going on in the politics and stuff like that about reducing diversity and inclusion and stuff like
Right.
that. Freaking diversity and inclusion will always be part of what the hardcore is.
Yeah.
It just will. So
And you know
yeah,
what? It should be the like
it should.
because we're all there to just get pissed off at the world and beat each other up for it. But at the end of the day, like we're all there for the same reasons, and that's the only thing that matters. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
As long as you're
Doesn't
not an asshole or a Nazi, like we don't care.
It
You
doesn't
know?
matter. Exactly. Like
Yeah.
come, have fun, and just be nice.
Yeah.
Like you get hit in the face, you get hit in the face. It is what it is. Like right before the show I went to, it was I'm gonna leave someone off and I feel really bad. Because I showed up a minute late, but it was in Infernium, Spent, Absolved, Snuff Tape, and I want to say there was a band right before Infernium. I showed up during Infernium, but I guess during the first band, uh, the vocalist for Spent, the dude who was at Furnace Fest with
Yeah.
us,
Yeah.
broke some kid's tooth.
Oh, really?
Like just caught him, and it's just like broken in half, and like just fell to the floor. Big hug after, like shit happens, right?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. So all love and respect and cool stuff. But Spent was super dope. They've got new music coming out. I'm really excited for that. The Absolved album is out. Their EP release show is going to be in a couple of weeks. I'm super stoked for that. Dude, just so much good stuff is happening.
Right. That
So,
the Absolve stuff is incredible.
so when I was talking to Mike about it, the guitar player, he was like, I don't know how people are going to receive it. They threw some like clean singing on there, a little bit more of that kind of stuff, a little bit more like rock anthem style. Cause his background, he came from a more rock background, a jazz, blues, rock background and stuff like that, and then got into hardcore. So it's a little bit more rocky than heavy hardcore kind of stuff. I love it.
Yeah.
And when he said that, I was like, oh, I'm really curious to hear what it is. It doesn't stray too far. It does
Hmm.
show growth. And it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I was because when you were telling me that about how like they said that it was going to be more rocky anthemy or whatever, like, and then I listened to it and I was like, I guess I hear it, but like, this just sounds like Absolved to me, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
in a
They
good way.
definitely
I'm not saying that like it's not. Like, I'm just saying like,
they stuck to who they are. But like you can hear it. You can hear it a little bit more. Amor Fati, that's my favorite song. Number 3, dude, it's so freaking good. And like that is just a more like anthemy style melodic hardcore song.
yeah,
And I love that kind of stuff. It's great. So
yeah, it's super good. So, um, well, what other new music? I know
there's a
that Die Young released their EP.
so good,
Freaking
dude.
rips! Holy cow, it's so good.
So good. Uh Gosh dang. I needed to make a list. I forgot to make a list, but there's a ton of stuff that comes out on the 21st, this Friday. which when this releases, it will have been last Friday. And I don't remember what it all was. Do you remember what was on the
I know
docket?
Heavy's the head.
Heavy is the head. Okay, so that full EP. We had Kendall on. Super stoked for that. Oh gosh, it was one of our other friends.
Um,
Is
I
it
forget Soul Exchange.
Soul
Soul
Exchange?
Exchange. Yeah, they got
Yeah,
music coming out
they're
on the
putting
21st.
some new music out, which
Yeah.
that's going to be super dope.
Yeah, the like little teaser they give on social media. Holy cow, man! It sounds freaking heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember everything. I'm super excited. There's a lot of music that's dropping on this Friday, and there's just been a lot of music coming out in general. So
Yeah,
I'm sorry for everyone who I've missed. There's a lot of stuff happening. We usually post about it. So if you're following us, you've probably seen it. So
yeah, it's true. It's true. So, what about new tours? I can't really think of any new tours. The only other ones I've got coming up are the Poison the Well tour, and then the Obituary Terror Spirit World. I don't even
yeah,
know who else is on that. There's
dude,
like a
that show's gonna
couple
be
more
so
bands.
sick.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, pest control. Uh, I don't remember who else was on that. We have, I think Recidivist is playing that,
Oh,
if I
cool.
remember. So the big news out of Salt Lake is that on the Days tour coming through next month, Crow Killer got added.
Mm, that's right.
So super pumped for Josh for a full set of Crow Killer. We got a little snip last year with just them playing one song. I am super excited for a full Crow Killer set. I am ashamed to say that I have not actually seen Crow Killer live fully yet. Like, as much as I love Josh, I had young kids. I just wasn't around back
Yeah.
then, but I am beyond excited. And if you're listening to this, I've got an extra ticket. If you missed your chance to get tickets, I might be able to hook you up.
Is it
So
sold out?
I think there might be a couple tickets left,
Mm,
but not everyone has $25 too.
it's
If
true.
you don't have the money and you need a ticket, shoot me a text.
You have
Shoot me
to
a message
send Trevor a picture of your bank account. And no, I'm just kidding.
that says
Zero
$0.
dollars.
If no one does, then I will throw it up on Instagram and we'll just see if we can't give it away. But we'll hook someone up. So
Yeah, that's cool. So, all right. Well, you got anything else?
I mean, what we were talking about before, we don't have to really get into it, but Gel called it quit
Mm.
for another douchebag being in the scene. Like, it sucks that it has to be said, right? But we were talking to
Well,
Time Heist. We were talking to Time Heist, and they were going to go out to a show somewhere. Turns out the promoter was a jack. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, the whole show got canceled. You just hear it sucks so bad.
we have all
You
that
know,
stuff going on with Zulu too.
there's the Zulu accusations,
What's
the
going
stuff with
on?
Gel, like it sucks. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like, we just got done talking about how hardcore is supposed to be about inclusion, positivity, all of this stuff. And you still have POSs who are, they tarnish, what it actually is, and it sucks that's what gets the press. A
yeah,
lot of that is what gets highlighted, especially a band like Zulu, who their whole persona was standing up and doing what's right and like
right.
taking care of others. And then you have shit like that happen. Like,
Yeah,
it sucks. So don't come around. If you're that person, don't come around. No
yeah,
one wants you here. We want everyone here if you're not a piece of shit.
yeah. It's yeah. I
Is
mean,
there a better way to say it? Like,
no, there's not. There's not. And it's like, I mean, here's you and me, a bunch of nobodies talking
I
about
know.
this stuff, and it's like, there's going to be bad apples everywhere. But it's like these two bands, like for this scene, for the level of popularity you can get to in this scene with this music, like y'all kind of made it. And
Yeah.
look at what you're doing. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, uh, you prop up on a lot of people to get to where you're at, especially in hardcore. Like the fact that you made it out of your town
Yeah.
means that you're like you've made it to another tier that a lot of bands wish they could. There's a lot of bands obviously don't care, and awesome, we need those. But for the bands that do care, that look up to you, it's like, man, y'all suck.
Yeah. And
Y'all
like, here's
suck
the
real
thing.
bad.
From all accounts and from what I gather, I don't know these bands at all, right? I've had zero communication. It sounds like it was one bad apple. It sounds like
Yeah,
it was one shitty person. And hopefully the other members didn't really know about it. I mean, the gel case is the dude just stole a bunch of money from them. So
yeah,
obviously, I wish the absolute best for the remainder of that band, and hopefully they can put something else together and continue on the awesome streak that they've had. And hopefully, the Zulu guys didn't know what was going on, because it would just suck too. And
yeah,
if they didn't, again, I wish the absolute best for them as well. So, you know, it just sucks. It sucks when we hear this stuff. It sucks when you hear about it locally. It sucks when you hear about it nationally.
hmm
Like, it just sucks all around, because this is the press that we get instead of all the cool shit that's happening.
yeah.
So,
Especially with these two bands, there's a lot of eyes on them because of
yeah,
who they are, you know.
yeah.
So it sucks. So this is a weird episode, man. I don't know that we've ever talked about this kind of stuff ever
Listen,
in any of
man,
the episodes. So
we're both a little sick. We're both a little out of it. Like, there's been some deep philosophical thinking lately. Here's the problem. I've got 4 girls at home. Like, I've got a lot of kids, and like, hearing stuff like that, it infuriates me. The stuff that
yeah,
happened with the gel dude, like, I don't need to go into it. If you're interested, go read their statement they posted. They have it out there for everyone.
right.
The accusations against the Zulu guy, like, it's all just terrible.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible. And I said this, or I made a post about this when Absolved was on a podcast recently. Jacob Cook is one of the most stand-up dudes here in Salt Lake, the vocalist. I mean, the entire band is. They're all great.
Yeah,
But Jake made a huge point in talking about like wanting to be a role model to his kids and stuff like that. If you don't have kids, be a role model to the younger generation coming up.
right.
Like, there's kids 13 years old, 14 years old coming to these shows. If you're an asshole, they're going to see it and they're going to
Mm-hmm.
want to do that too. Don't be that person.
Right.
Just don't
Especially
be that
because
person.
I mean, we have an interesting perspective coming from a scene like Salt Lake that, like there's no influence outside of the little bubble that we grew up in, right? And so the bad actions of a few people can really kill a scene.
Yeah.
You know, I think places like Dallas are a little different because you're going to have transient people. You're going to have neighbors down in Austin and San Antonio or Oklahoma City that, there's a lot of crossover with and stuff. But like some of these scenes, man, like, you hear Time Heist talk about New Mexico, and I mean, one bad thing happens there, man, and that scene just goes bye-bye,
Yeah. No,
and
the
that
band
sucks.
stopped coming through. Like,
Exactly.
the shows get smaller. Like, people stop
Yeah.
coming out. I will say that is one thing that Salt Lake has going for them right now. The older generation is really showing out. Like, we have a ton of absolutely just stand up, awesome people right now in the scene who are really setting the example of what Salt Lake hardcore should be. And it's really cool to be back in
Yeah.
the scene. Like, we've talked about it. I was gone for a long time. I am super excited to see the state of the scene in Salt Lake where it currently is, because of the old heads and the dudes with kids, or even if they don't have kids, like the guys who have just had careers, had jobs, have gotten their life together, and they're doing good for themselves,
Yeah.
Like, it makes me happy.
Yeah.
So, enough of our high horses.
Yeah. Trevor, enough of the hard on that Trevor has for Salt Lake City
Whatever,
hardcore.
man.
So it's not even that cool.
Salt Lake City above all else. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. No, come on, man.
Nah.
Even I was listening to Hardlore the other day. Even the Earth Crisis guy gave Salt Lake a shout out with Lifeless.
Yeah.
So, if Earth
I don't
Crisis
know,
is giving you
man.
a shout out, we already said it. If Earth Crisis gives ska a shout out, you should like ska. If Earth Crisis gives Salt Lake a shout out, you should like Salt Lake City. So
All right.
there we go.
All right. I'll give you that one. Only because the Earth Crisis guy said it. So, but all right. Look, we're going to get on back on topic here. We're going to talk about a couple local bands that we've had on our radar for a little bit. Some very heavy music, albeit a little different though than what we typically talk about.
We've talked about a lot of of hardcore. So we've got metalcore and we got thrash band today.
Thrash band, yeah.
And I'll be honest, I don't listen to a ton of thrash. So this was interesting and I really liked it. So
yeah. So I'll start off. The band I'm going to talk about is this band called Decoy out of Louisiana. And I think I found them because there was a festival that was thrown in Louisiana last year, and Will to Live went and played it. And so I went and listened to a bunch of bands from the flyer and found Decoy and was just instantly, obsessed with it.
Yeah.
So as people that have listened to this podcast a lot, I struggle with a lot of metal and stuff like this. It's not typically my favorite. There are a few bands that really do it for me. These guys have become one. It's a very aggressive and heavy metalcore. Reminds me a lot of Mouth for War. Reminds me a lot of Harm's Way. It's that type of just very metallic, raw metalcore. And one thing that they do really well, I think, is it's just aggressive all the way through.
Yeah.
Like it's just a constant punch to your face. And if you've listened to us at all talk about some of these bands like Darasoon, for example, those are props we will always give to a band. Is if you can just constantly punch me in the face through the whole song, we're going to rave about it. And that's exactly what Decoy is like. I think they've been around a bit.
Sure.
So it looks like there's some music from back 2019. They just released a single in February 2025. They've got an album, 7-song album EP, whatever you want to call it, from 2018, and then a bunch of singles up until now. But what did you think of them?
Dude, exactly what you just said, man. It's front to back, just in your face, aggressive, nonstop. Their last single, Becoming, listen, Decoy, I'm sorry. Like, if you don't like this comparison, but that opening riff, man, it's As I Lay Dying-ish. You know what I mean? You get a lot of I don't know if it's the drum pattern that goes behind it or whatever, but it's just a fun opening, solid metallic riff.
Mm-hmm.
But then they get heavy. They get into the breakdowns. They get into the 2-steps, all of that kind of stuff. I will say I love his vocals. His vocals are incredible. The single Natural Selection or Regarding Selection or whatever, the 2024 one, SMG, that song, just phenomenal. Yeah. So good. It's a little bit chaotic up front. It has a lot of really heavy parts, but I really like it. I don't know if it's the same guy. I love his normal lower tone, but then he has that higher. Mm-hmm. But it's it wasn't like Mitch Lurker-esque. It wasn't so high and so low that like that. It's that perfect, just bump up that you're just dude, what was that? It's just a little bit shrieky. Oh,
yeah. Cause I
freaking love it.
I really don't like death metal lows. His registry is a little lower when he screams, but it's not guttural death metal low, right? It's just like a really low raw scream. But you're right. That song SMG where the really high one comes in, I'm like, but it's not Black Dahlia Murder high.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just higher for him, but it hits so well in that song.
Right. So his register, it's like the Virtue guy, right? It's something that it it's not deathcore. It's not like pig squeal. It's not like that kind of low, guttural low, but it's just like a heavy, good tone.
You know, so maybe not like exactly sound wise, but like tone wise and registry wise, you know who this reminds me a lot of is freaking Parkway Drive.
Ooh.
Cause like most of Parkway Drive is kind of in that middle lower registry, and then he does some of those really highs, but it's not like deathcore high. You know what I mean?
You know, that's probably a good comparison because it has kind of just right in that range that
Mm-hmm.
Parkway does. So yeah, dude, I like that a
And you know
lot.
what's cool? Like even because I just have SMG on in the background while you were talking about it and stuff, but even there's kind of like a melodic metalcore type riff too in that
Oh yeah.
song that I can really get behind. I think that's what drew me in is it's like it's Parkway Drive if they didn't puss out either. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's a little bit heavier, right? It's
Yeah.
a little bit more hardcore. You get some of that kind of more two-steppy as opposed to like where Parkway goes metal, these guys go hardcore.
Hardcore.
So
Yeah.
like they're in that same lane together. One's just like a little bit this way, one's a little bit that way. But yeah, no, I definitely see what you're saying there. But like, dude, natural selection, just nasty. You get towards
Yeah.
that end, that last breakdown around like 2 minutes and 40 seconds. It's that slow. It has that like little solo part over the top or the little
Uh-huh.
lead part over the top. And it's just like almost like that sewn shut,
Yeah.
evil sounding, dark sounding, just sewn shut's another one. Shattered Realm, kind of that
Yeah.
stuff. You
Hmm.
get that's kind of what they do with their guitar work and stuff. It's great.
The tempo changes on that are my favorite, dude, where you get these like kind of faster riffs and it's kind of the same riff but slowed down, but not like gimmicky slow.
Right.
Like it's just slow enough to get you to be like, "Ooh, that's nasty."
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
I'm like super excited for what these guys have coming because like all of their songs have just been like bangers. Like
this
I
is
can
like
literally listen to all of them.
we've talked about it. This is the metalcore that we like. Like
Yeah.
it's heavy, it's aggressive, it's in your face. This is the metalcore that I would love to see on a hardcore bill. You know, you could that's where you could put these guys. So it's not the cheesy, too overproduced, adding some
Yeah.
electronic to it. Like,
But it's all so it is in my opinion true to the definition of metalcore though, right? Like this isn't hardcore. Like you're going to group this in with hardcore. You're going to call this hardcore music. But for people that are like really into it, like this isn't a straight up hardcore album.
no,
You know what I mean?
no,
Like
yeah,
this is
yeah.
very metally. It's very riffy. It is produced like you do hear like
Oh, yeah.
there are effects and production to it. It's not just like somebody plugged right in into a speaker and freaking played, right? Like,
Right, right.
but I think it's done well. It's done right. It's not done in a gimmicky, overdone way. It's not done because some of these bands, dude, like sometimes I feel like they're heavy just it's like a shock value for their
Sure,
heaviness. You know what I mean?
sure.
But these guys don't do that. These guys are just straight like raw aggression in all their songs. And like I very much appreciate the authenticity of that,
Yeah.
you know?
You know, like, and I know you don't listen to these guys as much, but Dying Wish, like, you get a lot of stuff that could sound like it could essentially be kind of some Dying Wish stuff. And I love Dying Wish's sound. You go back to 2019, False Sense of Morality, that song has some awesome parts. Like if you would have like on the slowed, really metal chorusy part right there, you could easily slot Emma's vocals into that, her Queen
Mm,
vocals, and it would have fit seamlessly, you know? So like there's a lot of really cool just metal in here, you know?
yeah.
So
So yeah, I did like a little bit of research on like some of the Louisiana scene. I mean, obviously Crowbar is like probably the godfathers of Louisiana hardcore, but
I
even
mean,
then they're like a sludge metal band, right?
yeah.
Um, it's very much what I saw in regards to Louisiana hardcore is very metal, very metal. Like I thought Texas is like very crossover thrashy metal. This is very like
More
sludgy, doomy
sludgy.
metal influence, which I mean,
Interesting.
yeah, like you get with, having the influences you have in bands like Crowbar. So,
Sure.
um,
Isn't
but
Acid Bath from Louisiana too? And Acid Bath is massive
yeah,
in terms of like influential and stuff. I don't want to say that wrong. I
but like
think
the
they're from
the
Louisiana as
the
well.
while you're looking it up, the bands that like played that festival with them that I saw, like there were a bunch of like death metal, black metal bands that were playing, and
Yeah.
so I think these guys maybe lean more on the hardcore side than a lot of those other bands.
Yeah.
But shoot, like this is such a good sound for 2025.
Yeah. No, I agree. Acid Bath is from Louisiana. So
They're
it
from
is
Louisiana.
kind of,
Okay,
yeah, you get that grungy, sludgy.
yeah,
It's heavy. You know what I mean? It's heavy. You get that stuff. So,
yeah. But I mean, uh, I don't know. Sorry, let me get it pulled up. I had it pulled up, but then I looked something else up because you were talking about it.
my bad.
Um, let's see. They're going to be opening for like Southpaw when they go through.
Sick.
They did a little run with Soul Exchange up
No, they're
through
doing
like
it.
Missouri,
They haven't gone on
Illinois.
it yet. That's in April.
No, it's in April. Yeah, so they're
Yeah. Yeah.
they're going up to like Missouri, Illinois, Kansas, and Oklahoma. Super freaking bummed that like you're going to Oklahoma City, man. Just you got to
Just pop
drive
on
3 hours
down.
down through anyways. Like, you're probably gonna go through down. I might, you know what, dude? I might just freaking reach out to Soul Exchange and be like, dude, pop in, come on. Um, let's see. I'm trying to see. Looks like they in September are gonna be playing. Is this real? Like a show with Marauder?
I mean, it looks like it.
Is Marauder from? They're not from Louisiana, are they?
I don't think so. No, Marauder, they're New York, aren't they?
I thought so.
Yeah, they're old school New York hardcore.
Okay.
Yeah, New York. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, they're gonna be playing with Marauder in
Sick.
September,
Yeah.
which is insane. So yeah, they, seems like they're pretty active. They're gonna have new music out. Um, look, this is a sound that is absolutely going to resonate with people in 2025, and they do it really well.
Yeah.
Mouth for War broke up, so like, there's like a really good slot for
Here
this
you
type
go.
of band to slide
Here
into.
you
Like
go.
seriously,
Yeah.
and these guys are real good. Like
Agree.
seriously, go listen to them. If you like just real heavy, metalcore, this is the band for you. Um, it seems like I think they're buds with like Will to Live and Die Young and those guys. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's always cool. But yeah, definitely check it out. So
Super sick. Yeah, I'm a big fan of them as well. So on to the next
yeah,
one.
yeah, that's all I got.
Oh, last thing I want to say. They also, it looks like, have signed with Upstate.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So we've been hitting on a lot of Upstate bands recently.
Yeah,
And listen, I mean, we might just have to hit up the Upstate guys and just be like, who else are you like scouting? Because that's probably who we need to be
yeah,
talking about. So yeah,
yeah,
no,
dude. I mean, the honest truth though is like Upstate's on a roll right now with some of these
they
bands. They
are.
freaking, Heavy's the Head,
Heavy is the
Fortunes,
Head, Fortunes, Decoy, Reviler was
Reviler.
Upstate as well. Like
Yeah,
Upstate, Brick by Brick, all of those kind of guys. Like there's some absolute bangers on
yeah,
Upstate.
yeah.
So excited to see Upstate 2025.
Yeah, put a festival on Upstate. Let's go.
Absolutely. So, okay. The next band, this is actually a band that you sent over to me
Mhm.
uh, out of Portland, Oregon. They're called Stress Test. They started around 2020. What this was there's a band called Unto Others. I'm sure there's some people who've heard of it. This is not what I would typically listen to, right?
Yeah.
So, Unto Others is very like, you want to talk about like 80s heavy metal, but gothic influence.
Mhm.
And so you hear that, and the sound's cool. I like it. It's not what I'll listen to on a day-to-day basis. I have no idea any other bands who like fit in the scene with them and stuff like that, but they've toured with some crazy bands like Behemoth. They toured with, oh gosh, I looked it all up right before. Forgive me unto others, but I forgot. Anyways, but like they've toured with some crazy packages and stuff like that. And then you have Stress Test come out. So this was the bass player who he said historically he's been in other heavy extreme music, grindcore, thrash, other stuff like that. So this isn't like a crazy sound departure for him personally. It is from Unto Others, but not for him personally. He started in 2020 during COVID. He's like, I just am playing fast, pissed off, angry music for what we were all going through, right?
Yeah.
Everyone was locked up in their room and stuff. It's not until 2024 he goes, you know what? I'm going to record this and I'm going to put a band together to actually like play a couple shows and stuff like that. So Stress Test comes together. They put out their initial single. I don't know, it was Suffer first or was it Bastard Behavior first? Bastard Behavior was first with the two songs Bastard Behavior and Eternal Bliss. Then they dropped Suffer, and then they dropped the self-titled album Stress Test on February 28th.
Yeah.
So just recently. It is 11 songs, 17 minutes long. It's fantastic.
It's like song whiplash, dude.
But it's so good. And it flows so well together in terms of just like the problem that I have with a lot of thrash music is I feel like it's too much. Like the songs get too long when you listen to some thrash bands and stuff, and I lose interest. I really like the riffs. I really like the aggressive tone of thrash and stuff like that. But I listen to it for 1-2 minutes and then I'm like, okay, on to the next one.
Yeah.
That's what Stress Test does for you though. Like they go the first song, Boiling Point, it's just sound clips. Second song in, Degrees of Violence, starts out with the sound clip, 29 seconds long, takes it exactly to the point, exactly what you want to hear to start off this album, and just blew me away. Like, absolutely loved it. The longest song on the album, 3 minutes and 5 seconds, is Suffer.
That song's amazing though.
It's great. Dude, front to back, just incredible. I'm not going to keep talking. What did you think? Because obviously you sent it to me.
Yeah, I think I saw these guys on like a freaking Instagram ad or something.
Okay.
I find a lot of bands like that. So if you're like a small band trying to, benefit from the algorithm, I hate to say it, but like maybe spend a couple bucks on a Instagram ad. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I find a few of these bands that we've talked about, I found that way. It was like a black and white music video shoot, and it was just like they were just going ham, and I was like, "Oh, this is good," because I've been in this like weird mood of listening to just a lot of like thrash and crossover, and so I was like, "This is exactly like the kind of stuff I listen to." And I understand your like qualms with thrash music because like sometimes it's like you listen to a 20-minute album and you don't even know when one song starts and one song ends because it's just like, dude, you just thrash, like you're thrashing the whole time, And it's like if I had hair and could like just like windmill the hair all the time, like sure, dude, like that's cool. But I love thrash music that leans more into the hardcore crossover stuff,
Yeah.
Like I'm a huge fan of like Power Trip and all the Texas like OGs, Iron Age, like there's so much good stuff like that. But these guys were just again piggybacking off of Decoy. It's just like raw aggression in every freaking song. Like there's no stopping, and even more so because it's thrash. So it's like you take a hit of cocaine, get your heart rate up, and then you listen to this, and it's like literally, it's just fast, aggressive, in your face, nonstop, and it's incredible. It's incredible. And the coolest part about these guys, and like I listen to a little bit of thrash, but like you, like sometimes it's just like, okay, guys, like I need something else. What's really cool is the vocalist. Like his normal vocals are pinnacle, picture perfect thrash vocals. And
Oh,
then
I love it.
out of nowhere, he throws this really low scream. And I'm like,
It's the one guitarist who does
okay,
the normal vocals. That's the bass player from Unto Others. His
okay,
name's Brandon Hill, I think is what it was. And then the other guitarist is the one who drops the lows.
okay.
So it's two different guys, which I like that. I like when that
listening
happens.
to Eternal Bliss, it's a minute 51 song. You're like 10 seconds in and you get the normal traditional thrash vocals, right? Like it's perfect. And then all of a sudden it switches to the really low guttural, but the music doesn't stop. Like you would think like, oh, I'm going to do the really lows when it's like a huge breakdown, bass drop breakdown or whatever.
There's
this is
not
like
a breakdown.
There's no musical change. It's just the vocal
breakdown in this.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is great. Like it changed it up enough to where you're like, yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah. So
maybe I don't listen to enough thrash. Is that common? I don't feel like it's common from a lot of the thrash. I feel like you scream and then maybe there's cleans in a lot of thrash music. I haven't listened to a lot of thrash. It's like normal thrash vocals and then this like really low growl.
Yeah. And listen, I don't listen to a lot of thrash either. Like I said, this is definitely outside the norm of what we typically listen to, or what at least I listen to. Mm-hmm. So might be wrong about this, right? But I feel like anytime I've listened to thrash, it almost turns into like power metal, or it turns into a little bit more like solo-y kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You don't really get that on this album. God Sucks has a little bit of that, where it turns into a little bit of a power metal type of riff in there, but then it goes immediately straight back to just like an insane aggressiveness, with them doing like dual vocals of the high and the low right at the end.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just so good. And like, so let me ask you, we could literally talk about every single song on this because you could literally just say a quick sentence on each one, but was there anything that's like specifically stood out to you? Because I have three that like stood out to me.
I thought Eternal Bliss stood out quite a bit.
Okay.
Because I think that's the first. Is that? No, I think they do the lower vocals.
Maybe in Coward. Too. Probably in Coward they do.
I don't know. Eternal Bliss was my favorite song from the album, but I can't think of anything specific that I guess like really stood out.
So, and you can listen to this while I'm saying it because the songs are so short. So it's great. Degrees of Violence. Like I said, this is probably my favorite song on the album. It's 29 seconds long. But like for them to start out, so number one, they have sound clips throughout this whole album, and I love it. The sound clips that they chose are just perfect for the songs. Degrees of Violence is that like the like cop who's like get on the ground, and there's like the gunshots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, and then it just goes insanely aggressive, but it's funny because you get right to the end of it and they do a little trill on the guitar. And normally that would like jump you into the next riff on the song. No, they do the trill and just cut it off.
Cut it.
And it's like, it's perfect. So I listened to an interview with these guys. He's like, I didn't really like intend for it to come out this way, but like my whole thing was like, I didn't really want to circle back to riffs just for the sake of circling back to riffs. Like when I got done saying what I wanted to say, or when I felt like the song was done, we ended.
Yeah.
Let me just say, every band write like this. If the song has a natural ending, end the song.
Yeah.
We don't need more. It's fine. Have a 29-second song. It's cool. All right. And then the self-titled song, Stress Test, the second from last song, super awesome. You get like a bit of like a groove up front, just like, again, you'd want to be like whipping the hair around and stuff like that. But then you get a little bit deeper into it. I think it's like, let's see, where is it?
But the guy's like
Maybe
screaming.
you get that. But then at like 1 minute, it's just straight double bass. And he double basses
Oh
for
yeah.
a long time. And it's just like, dude, it's so good. It sounds so good. And then right at the end, you get another like awesome like lead. Like this is where kind of that power metal starts to creep in a little bit and gets a little bit groove again. So Stress Test, again, fantastic song.
I
And
really
then
like
the
the in stress test. I really like the tempo change at the
yeah,
end. It's like almost breakdowny. Like
it starts very,
I'd
it's
swing to
not, but
this.
yeah, yeah. You
I'd
could.
swing to it.
You could try.
A bunch of people circle pitting it or be real mad, but you know.
You could try. So and then the last song. So it's kind of funny. You go through this insane thrash album, right? You've got 15 minutes of just insane thrash. And then you get to Something Rather Than Nothing. And I feel like this is the song that you would typically hear as like the relief in the thrash album.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the one where I'm like, okay, I can see where Unto Others kind of is creeping in. It gets a little bit more melodic. It's
Right.
still aggressive as hell, kind of thing. But the leads on it are just a little bit more, and it's not just straight speed. You have some open notes, some open chords,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that that like invite you in. It's a great, great closer after just the brutality that you just went through for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I wrote this down. If I had a full album like this, I don't think I would have liked it as much. I like the one song. I love the one song.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even want two of this on the album though. I love the way they structured this of just pure aggression. And then it kind of just wraps up with a little bit of just you catch your breath
Decompression, like
just a little
yeah.
bit.
Brings
Still
you down a little
aggressive
bit,
as
you know.
hell, but it
That's when the
does.
cocaine's wearing off, you know. You're like
It's when they can't their hand is cramping
yeah.
and they're like, I need some open notes here. So they
the
just one
drummer
strum.
the drummer's like, guys, I can't do this anymore. I can only blast beat for so long.
But then it gets right back into it, right? It's still aggressive as all heck, but it's just, dude, this album, it was just fun.
It is.
I
It's
really
really
liked
cool.
it.
And so one thing that I've always appreciated about thrash is like the imagery of
Yeah.
stuff. You know, like you look at their like album cover and it's very like apocalyptic.
I mean, it's
You
brutal.
know, it's brutal.
Like,
I mean, all these bands, all these thrash bands do stuff like that. Like you listen to you look at like Municipal Waste.
yeah.
Or I mean, even their bands, you have like Warbringer and Exodus, and
Yeah.
you know, there's like all these. I really love the visualness and the imagery of thrash music, and you know, people always ask like, what's the best in between of metal and punk music, and like culturally and musically, thrash is probably the closest to the middle that you can get.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you know, the one other funny thing that the guy said when he was talking in the interview I was listening to is he said, I intended this to be much more punk. Like I was trying to write punk music. And he quoted someone by saying, when you get too good at guitar for a punk band, it turns into a thrash band.
It turns to a thrash band. Yeah.
Like,
No,
it's kind of
that's true. So, but like usually like lyrically, culturally, like thrash is very much, you know, like it's smack dab right in the middle. And I think that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, even these guys, like they got a song called God Sucks.
Yeah.
You know, another one called Degrees of Violence. Like this is that's very punk. That's very hardcore. That's, you know, and then you listen to it and you listen to how good these guys are musically. And you're like, yeah, it's metal, but it's like, you can appreciate when this stuff can blend appropriately.
Dude,
you know?
and the song God Sucks is awesome. That sound
Awesome.
clip at the beginning to just insane brutality through that first like 30 seconds.
What does it say? Like some guy yells, he's like, "Nobody fears God anymore," and then it
Yeah,
just
something
goes
like
right
that.
into like the straight, like aggressive rip. Yeah, dude,
Dude, it's
I
a
mean,
great sound
it's a
clip.
52-second song, like
Dude, fantastic.
respect.
Fantastic. So here's the problem, right? They're it sounds like everyone's in pretty active bands. Obviously, the Unto Others, they're big. They tour like nationwide, international, like they tour. And so and it sounds like a couple of the other dudes are in bands, and then one of them it sounds like I think is in school, currently finishing a
Mm,
degree or something like that. It sucks that I don't know how active they're going to be in terms of playing shows because like you guys fit it in somewhere.
yeah.
And so I'm hoping that they make a couple runs here and there, but I think that they're going to be a very like festival heavy band,
Mm,
one-off show heavy band and stuff like that. I think they're going to get the opportunity to being in a couple larger bands and stuff like that. So you're probably going to see Stress Test. Like if you're going to festivals, if you're seeing metal shows and stuff, my guess is these guys are going to start popping up. I think that it's going to be lucky for you to see them though. I
yeah,
hope I'm wrong because I would love to see these guys live. I think that there are some incredible bands that these guys could go out with right now. And I really hope that they do something. Give us at least one tour, you know,
yeah.
give us
I mean,
something.
they went as far to pay for a freaking Instagram ad. Like, it's got to matter a little bit to them, right?
Oh, I
So,
think that I absolutely think it matters to them. I'm not
like,
saying that
more
this
than
is a
just
throwaway
listens, right?
band.
Like, I don't know how you make songs like this. You pay for ads. You do it real, right? Like, you do the
Yeah.
real stuff, and then don't play shows. Like, it's got to be something. It's got to be.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I really hope so. I really hope so. I'm thinking about picking up
Vinyl,
uh their vinyl, maybe a
sick.
shirt or something, like do that vinyl. Again, you talk about the artwork and stuff like that. It's just a nasty album cover. It looks so good.
Yeah,
Like I might get it just because of that, like it's awesome. So we'll see though.
yeah. I mean, honestly, these are two really cool bands. Um, we just say this every single time, but there's just so much good music out there. And this
Yeah.
is, and it's not the same stuff that you're going to listen to all the time. And I hope it's not like, right? Like, I hope we're not all just listening to the same carbon copies of bands over and over again. But
We've
like,
had
there's
a lot of diversity on here.
a try.
Not to like toot our own horns, right?
Toot it,
Like
man. Toot it big time.
we like a lot of different music, right? We've talked about pop punk, we've talked about post hardcore, we've talked about experimental stuff, like we've talked about the heavy hardcore, the beatdown stuff, like the pure
Mhm.
blisses, right? Here's a thrash band. Like I hope that there's more. Like I hope we resonate with more than just the hardcore crowd,
And
the punk
well,
crowd, the metal
I
crowd,
mean, we've
whatever.
said this. We've said this too, though. That like it's okay, guys. Like if you're in the hardcore crowd, it's okay to listen to a thrash album. I
Right.
promise you, you'll be okay. You're not going to
Right.
be less hardcore if you listen to a thrash album. Promise you. You know, like it's sick. It's good music. I mean, if you're a musician and you listen to this album and you don't instantly fall in love with it, like you're crazy. These guys are insanely talented.
Yeah.
Insanely talented. You know. So
Yeah.
yeah, and it's 17 minutes long.
Dude, everyone
Listen
has
to
17 minutes.
it.
You can knock it out. You can knock it out probably taking a dump. Like,
Yeah,
let's be honest.
exactly.
Most of us like go sit on the toilet. You've probably sat there for 17 minutes. Listen
Dude,
to the Stress Test album.
and what better way to get those bowels moving than just in your face thrash, hearts pounding, So this could come off like that. You know what? I don't know. I'm not gonna say it. We're good. Seriously, good bands. Yeah, that's all I got, man.
No,
Good
agreed.
music.
We've got some cool stuff coming up. We're rescheduling a couple of interviews and a few things along those lines. So I feel like the next couple months should be full of good stuff. There's a lot of shows that we're going to be going to. So hopefully social media content picks up as well. But guys, if there's bands, if there's specifically local bands that are like popping off right now, send them to us. Like we want to talk about them and stuff. So hit us
Yeah.
up.
Like, we did have somebody send us a band that is about to release new music that we'd never heard of before, and the music that we listened to was pretty darn solid.
Yeah.
Like, I have a feeling we're gonna talk about them. So,
Yeah.
like, we're not just ignoring people. Like, we like this. We want to find new music. So,
Right.
we'll do what we can to help out. Hit us up.
We'll at least listen to it.
We'll at least
So
listen to it. Yeah.
cool. All right, man.
Okay. See ya.
Peace.